ZeBirdBrain, and today we are talking about rigging, more precisely, handles for your pieces. So in the past I made a tutorial about how to make handles, and you know that tutorial is a bit old. Harmony's come a long way since then, and since Harmony 21 or 22, I think it's 22. Yeah, let's go with 22. Harmony had a new way to make handles, which is amazing. I'm in love with that thing, and I use it for most of my handles now. In this video, I'm going to refer to handles in two ways. There's the original handles, like the old ones, where it's the classic, where you had, for example, this neck piece here, where I have this little blue shape that appears, but when I go in render, I don't see it. And the way we used to do that is that we had our shape, and we would have the line art be what you see, and the color art be what you cut with or whatever, but then you would put the handle on the overlay level, and then you would have what we used to call it OVIS, which is OL visibility. If I go into that group, it's literally just an OL layer and a visibility node, and that visibility node was set to display in OpenGL only, which means that whatever was connected to this node would only appear in OpenGL and not render. So that's why we had an OL and a visibility node. We just slapped that in a group so that it was easier to just take it and, like, you know, remove it. And if I needed it and I had like this little wire here, I could take it, press Alt, and like connect it to something, and then, you know, it would happen. Okay, that was an OLVIS. Everybody used them, and we still use them a lot, because for some little things like here, like some very precise handles like this neck piece, or I have these things that cut my shoulder that are very precise, I want to see that line. I need to see something precise. So for these, I still use the OLVIS method that I teach in that old video that I'm going to link to the description. And what I'm going to refer to as the new handles are called OGL controllers. Big disclaimer though, the OGL controllers work in Harmony 22.3 and not more. They are not that stable and great in any versions of Harmony before Harmony 22.3. So make sure you update. I'm going to show you here. You need to have 22.3. Otherwise, sometimes they disappear and they're a bit annoying. Timbo made them better in 22.3. So if you don't have 22.3, I encourage you to update before you use the OGL controllers, because they're really better in that version. Okay, so disclaimer said, use 22.3. Any versions after is going to be fine. But if it's a version before 22.3, I would recommend updating. Okay, back to the tutorial now. So what you see here, like this circle and this donut shape, these are OGL controllers. OGL controllers, like I said, they're a little node. So if I look at my ear here, I can click on this little donut, and it's going to select my ear through my hair. So I don't need to kind of like push away the hair to select my ear. I can just use this donut shape. And what is that donut shape? Like I said, it's literally just a node. It's that thing here called OGL ear. If I unconnect it, I don't see it. It's really just a little node that you attach to an existing layer, okay? And when you attach it, you're going to see it. And you can then go into the little properties, and you'll be able to customize it, like a donut shape, square, or whatever. You choose it. I'm going to go back into this in a moment. Just want to show you another thing that's very cool with these tools, is that you see here in my eyes, when I'm far away, it's a bit hard to click on like specific parts of my eye. So what I did is I did OGL controllers for the different pieces of my eye. But unlike the hair or the ear that I'm going to animate often, the eyes, it's not going to be that often. Especially if I'm far away moving my body, I will not need to precisely move the eyelid of my character. I will, however, need to select like the ear or something, even if it's hidden behind the hair. So what is great with these OGL controllers is that you can also have them appear only when you trigger a certain peg. So my ears and my hair controller is always visible, but my eyes, they are not. I chose to have it that whenever I click on any part of the face, my eye controller appears. Then I can take this little lozenge to move my top eyelid, and then that triangle to move the bottom eyelid. And this circle here is for the eyebrow, because sometimes it's going to be hidden behind the hairdo, and I can't see my eyebrow. Annoying! So then whenever I click on the face, I'll be able to click on this little eyebrow and move it, okay? So that's why they're amazing. They're easy to do, they're lightweight, and they're just so great, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to create it now. To show you, I'm gonna show you how to make it on the eyebrow. So I'm gonna go to my eyebrow and delete the one I already have. Oh, and by convention, I like to just put all my OGL controller to the left of my node view. That's just what I do. Not everybody does it, but I like to have them all in the same place. Because sometimes they don't appear for some reason. I don't know why, but just triggering them like this once solves it. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna take my eyebrow, I'm gonna delete it, and we're gonna start fresh. Okay, so at the moment, no more eyebrow. Okay, so what do? Usually once you're done with your rig, you're gonna take your layer here, my eyebrow, and be like, I need a controller for it. Okay, super easy. Go into your node view, press enter, and find OGL, which stands for OpenGL controller. Click there. Bring it in, then go into your little yellow box here. I'm gonna put it on the side here so I can see it. And then I'm gonna call it a name. Usually, I just go at the end, I write underscore and whatever it is. So it's gonna be eyebrow. And usually I remove controller because it makes it shorter. But in that case, I'm gonna keep the controller on just so that it's easier for you guys to see into the video, okay? And then you're gonna have this node. Don't forget to connect it to whatever you want to use. Is it your peg or is it your drawing? You choose. I'm gonna connect it to my drawing for now, but you can also connect it to the peg. It's just fine. And I'm gonna take this wire and I'm gonna connect it under. And that's another advantage of using the OGL controller, is that you can decide at what Z depth they are. And you don't need to like connect them, or you don't need to put a peg on top of them to put them in front of your brig. You can choose that into the box that I'm gonna show you now. So I'm gonna take it. And just to make the video cleaner, I'm gonna just go put it back with the others. Gonna make it a bit more clean, but I'm gonna go into my properties here and we're gonna see them together, okay? So first property is the name. Of course, I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna call it eyebrow, like I said before. And then into the shape, you can choose which shape you want. There's circle, square, diamond, triangle, and donut. What you do with each shape is completely up to you, but at the moment, it's the only one we have. Okay, speaking of the shape though, I want to say that here there's a little blue port. It's because you can put your drawing and use it as the shape, but it's not my preferred way to do it. But you know, some people like it. I personally am not a fan of using the shape because, you know, it's not gonna follow the deformer. It's a bit more limited, and to me it's just too detailed. I like to use the basic shapes more, but just so you know, you can connect your drawing into this place and use it if you want. Okay, so back to the properties. You can choose the size of whatever you want to use, like this. And then to change the color, you can just go here, you can click on a color and change it. But before you do any of that, the most important things to do with OGL controller is to take your little running man here and turn it off. I don't know why, but somehow you can key these things. You can key the size of your stupid controller, you can key the color, you can key all these things. So when you do these, always turn your animate off. That's my biggest advice, okay? Biggest advice. Don't make the mistakes I made in my past life. Then you can move all of those without having fear of putting keys on it, okay? And then, you know, you can choose the color. So I'm gonna go with a little white here. Oh no, let's make it pink. It's gonna be so visible. Yeah, pink like that. Then you should keep it separate because it's just better. And then here is where your little shape will be. You can move it by writing numbers if you want, but it's not my preferred way to do. What you can do is just click on setup mode. And when you click on setup mode, you're gonna have a red dot and a green dot. The green dot is for the label, which we're gonna see later. But then you can take that red dot and you can move your piece to where it should be. Of course, you try to align it with the front view, it's better, but you know, now you get this. You have a constant size and preserve proportion. This is for whenever like you zoom it, or like when you shrink your peg or your rig or something. Just try them and you'll see for yourself. But then you have the setup mode. I'm gonna take this label here, I'm gonna put it closer. You know, this is just where your things are gonna be. And then once you're done placing them, you can just uncheck setup mode. And now if I use my transform tool and I click on this little circle, I'm gonna be able to move my eyebrow. But now the circle is still behind the hair, which makes it kind of useless. So that's why into the Z-axis of your object, you need to change it. So what I tend to do is I just use, instead of 0, I go with 0.1. And usually that's more than enough to put it in front of my rig. If you have something very complicated, maybe you'll need to put 25. But just so you know, if you put 25, your thing is going to disappear. No, it didn't disappear. It's just like too close to your camera, okay? So don't do that. It's crazy. Like 0.1 is usually more than enough for my rig, because unlike the maintain size, if you put it closer to the camera, it's going to change the size of your thing, okay? So 0.1, I like this. And then when you go to label, you can write something. So eyebrow, if you're scared to forget what that thing is, it's an eyebrow. And you know, you can change the size. Honestly, I don't use that all that much, but maybe you'll find it useful. You can put a label on it. And then where it gets very interesting is the selection tab, okay? So the selection tab, it's to choose what this thing will select. So at the moment, I have my eyebrow controller and it's attached to my eyebrow. So if I don't put anything there, it's just gonna be a shape that selects my eyebrow. Okay, but what I can do is I can choose that this controller follows the eyebrow, but when I click on it, it selects something else. Okay, so let's try it, okay? I'm gonna take my nose here, click on it, and I'm gonna use selected node, okay? Here. So it means that whenever I click on this eyebrow, it selects my nose. Amazing! But if I move the eyebrow with the peg, I move it here. If I click on that circle, it selects the nose. That's amazing. It's like a portal, okay? It's kind of weird, but I hope you get it. So it means that even if my controller follows my eyebrow, when I click on the circle, it selects whatever I put here. And to select it, you literally just have to click it and click here to use selected node. It's that easy. The other thing that is my ultimate favorite thing about the OGL controllers is how you can use the controller visibility based on selection. So at the moment, I always see that little red dot. What if I only want to see it when I select the eye or the face or whatever? Super easy. I'm just going to select the top peg. So in that case, my face peg, like that face full peg. And I'm just going to go into controller visibility based on selection. And now I don't see it because there's nothing. I'm just going to, click on my face here. Use selected node. Face full, right? So if I click elsewhere now, I don't see it until I click on any part of anything that is connected under that peg. It's amazing. And these are the OGL controller. Then if you want to animate, don't forget to turn that back on. And then you can just animate just as you would normally. But you can use these little handles to make your life a bit easier. Okay? And like I said, don't forget to update if you're going to use the OGL controllers because they are more stable in that version. I hope you had fun and I'll see you again next week for another tutorial. Goodbye!